Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. We're at the MCAS Air Show. It's Friday. Friday is like the dress rehearsal day. It's the military family and friends day. And it's about 8:45. We just got here and we're walking around. These are the static displays. And of course there'll be a lot of flying demonstrations that will go on later on. So I'll show you little bits and pieces as I walk around with my friends.
Snap you around. Yes. Snap you around. With that trailing gear, by the way, it's really. Oh yeah. Practically every landing. I never flew a plane with trailing gear, but I rode motorcycles with front suspension. Man, you can land that thing on the front wheel or whatever.
My buddy Denny in the white shirt there, he trained in this aircraft.
All my gamers, big and small.
This is a Beechcraft U.S. Air Force F-2 photo reconnaissance plane.
So if you just
utility aircraft, liaison. Things that where you need to move a small amount of people or a small amount of cargo.
I like the paint job on this one especially. It's got the underbody, you can see it's sky color.
Trainers, many.
How about it, California? It's time to get your game on PlayStation 4. On board, we've got PS4s to give away, PS Vitas to give away, T-shirts, keychains, lanyards, wristbands, lots of cool swag for PlayStation 4. If you have a chance to win any of those, come on board and join us. For those who get this tour, welcome to San Diego Air Show.
How many G's you think he's pulling there, Denny?
Instantaneous overnight.
Wow.
Pulling 3 or 4 negative.
That's amazing.
This is an O2. Pusher puller. Used in Vietnam.
Oh, wow. Pusher puller. Huh.
Used for forward air controller, airborne. The little rocket pods are not for attack, although they were used that way sometimes. They carried white phosphorus rockets, and the forward observer would use the white phosphorus rocket to mark the target he wanted the jets to hit.
Oh.
Very difficult, I'll say nearly impossible, for the fast movers to actually see what they're bombing in the jungle. these guys could see what needed to be bombed. They'd throw a white phosphorus out, and then they'd correct from the white phosphorus and from the initial bomb drops for each jet that came in subsequently. Well, little or no armor. And these and the other smaller one I showed you earlier regularly got ventilated. Of course, the thing is, the only thing electronic on it was the ignition. You know, I had a radio. There's nothing else. No power steering.
Easier to work on.
Oh yeah.
You know, now these cars go down and they got to send them back to the. Now it's like a computer down because that's how the cars run.
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
computer. So it's good and bad. You know, the computer, all the electronic stuff.
I would love to see one of these take off. I don't know if we'll see that today or not. I hope this shows up on the video. This is helicopter acrobatics or aerobatics. So what is this thing out there?
You got a fully integrated aircraft here.
This thing, I don't know if you've ever seen the cockpit of this thing, but it's
I flew coverage starting with the G's, through the J's, the T's, and then I was the deputy program manager for design and development of the W, the whiskey. And I'm so happy to see you get this, have it go beyond the W. You needed the lift from the W.
I've only flown in the whiskey maybe 2 or 3 times, just for FCFs at 303 in the trace waters, but I like this a little bit better.
I think so, yeah. At the time, but these guys now, they fly at sophisticated threat. They fly in environments, navigation and stuff that this stuff is essential. It's not just a nice to have. And this has become a
survivability is much more likely.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want to say it. It's a multiplier in combat effectiveness. That's yeah. No, it's the F-35, isn't it? Yes, that one over there. And then you go one-way trackway. Like if we go to Bridgeport, we go to the whole thing. That's where we go on the train. That's where I train.
Have one seat for each person in the back. Yeah. So typically we don't carry 10 guys.
Depends on whether you're
absolutely, yeah. And we can do it. There's a new system, a crew restraint system. Basically, rope that runs through the deck fittings, and they clip onto it. So then they don't have to get in seats. It's a lot quicker for them to get in.
The XV-15 tilt rotor, I got to see that. Now, it's nowhere near as powerful or as capable as the MB-22 Osprey is. This one can carry, what, 20-some guys?
That is correct. If you watch the MB-22 right now, it is demonstrating its ability to turn and rotate around. This aircraft was developed by the Marine Corps because of the Iran hostage crisis failure. It was an excellent 50-day study used during the Iran hostage crisis back in 1980, and all of the operational problems that happened were identified as problems to tactical and rotor-lift aircraft. He will now in front of us. This is an awesome example of what our MB-22 can do. He's going to bow for the crowd. There he is.
What is so amazing is that the man or woman who flies this has his or her feet busy on the pedals that in fixed wing flight operate the rudders, in a rotary wing flight like this operate the differential operation of the pitch of the rotor blades, so it flies just like a helicopter. Joystick and then a power lever with a special part. If the pilot messes up his or her left thumb, you can't fly the airplane. Aircraft.
There is a lot going on. Aircraft, airplane, helicopter, whatever it is. There's a lot going on.
If you take a hammer to your thumb.
Yeah, they have hands-on throttle and stick, and they're not kidding. If you break your thumb, you can't fly this aircraft or the Whiskey or the...
Wingspan is over 84 feet, 56 feet long, but when they get it on the deck of a carrier, when they get it landed, the crew chief...
When you're going to watch the curve, use the last pass of the B-22 Osprey. It's coming in now just like it was the helicopter can do an LC. Interesting problem. Very interesting. You know, the first combat operation of the Osprey. It was
152, 250, 275, 325, 340, 352.6 miles per hour, ladies.
The fact that
they keep aboard.
Yeah. Wow. Because remember, all your power grids are electronically controlled too, and they can put out a jamming signal and a disruptive signal just freaking unbelievable. The problem was, for them to train with it at full power, they have to be out in the middle of nowhere, you know?
Exactly.
Or at least somewhere that we don't like. You know? On the end there, it was the best naval fighter we had at the beginning of World War II. And the landing gear on that plane was manually cranked up and down. So you'd see these take off with the carrier, and they want to get the gear up because there's a lot of drag, and you see them start going like this. Design served us well because this design got expanded into the F6, then into the F8, and then even the same basic plan form and design procedures in that aircraft. But those guys didn't have to crank up the gear by hand. Might be a stretch. I don't know where the cross actually could be. Who's a Marine? We like. D is a two-seater F-18.
So this is still a workhorse.
Yes, it is. This is our main troop lifting helicopter. And these, you were talking, Bob, about, weren't there a lot of accidents in the B-22s?
Yeah.
When these first got to Vietnam, obviously it was a wartime environment and we're getting them out there as fast as we can. They had a nasty little habit of breaking in half right about, see where that antenna is on the center shaft there?
Yeah.
Right above the star? Right about there. They just snap in half. And the reason that they did that was the pilots were flying them like they used to fly that helicopter right there, which is the troop lifter before this one, and coming in and doing some tolerance.
I liked the last one we did the first time.
To put the blades, to put the rotors up.
Can you do that?
We tried, believe me, we asked.
So it comes in and snatches that line?
Hits the line, catches it right there on the hook. Dangles like tetherball. Pretty cool, huh? What is this? This is the RQ-21 Blackjack.
Okay, now wait a minute. Let's think about the dynamics here. Okay?
Yep.
This thing comes around and you're paying your whole system.
No, I wish.
So it comes around here. So it starts to come around. Simulating refueling jets. And now the C-130 has to go as fast as it could go, and the jets have to go as slow as they could go.
That's an example of Mark 45 54 caliber 5-inch gun firing from far offshore with our Arleigh Burke cruisers. This cannon can fire 20 rounds a minute, each round weighing over 100 pounds, decimating enemy positions and turning America's foes into fried chicken before our eyes. The beginning of the end for our enemies starts here with your attack! Able gunfighters are used to naval artillery to provide fire support for amphibious assaults and troops as they land on our beaches. Modern naval gunfire is the three components of amphibious warfare assault operations, along with aircraft and our shipboard missiles, used effectively in every combat situation since the beginning of the Great War. Shipborne guns have been used in shore defenses since Providence, Bahamas. This small contingent of Marines, all under the age of 20, have called in the destruction of a apocalyptic proportion on a deeply entrenched and hardened, but now dead enemy. And now the Marines will quickly depart from their position where they were forward observing for our naval guns. The unit was inserted with the members of the 1st Reconnaissance Battalion, activated in 1937, and serving with distinction in every major conflict where the Marines have unfurled their flag. When accomplished and the initial enemy destroyed. More to come. This is just the beginning. In action. Marine engineers who pulled our Marines out have an illustrious history of success. Marine aviators have been deployed. Buster munition! Sometimes we fly over just with the sound of the aircraft. In action! Deployed its 25mm cannon. 25mm. Here comes